everyone. It is so nice to meet all of you. My name is Miss Feuerstein, and I am the online program's high school biology and AP biology teacher. I'm so excited for you to get to know me and about the course a little bit more. So without further ado, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit more about me. So in this, we're going to be talking a little bit about myself, and then I'll go over some general guidelines about the biology course, as well as a quick field trip into what the biology looks like on Fuel Ed. So a little bit about me. I am from Chicago, Illinois. I moved out to Oregon about 6 years ago. And I have not looked back since. And so a little bit of information about me. I worked at Wood Middle School for 4 years, and then I've been at Wilsonville High School for the last 2 years before coming onto this online program. At Wood, I taught science between grades 6 and 8, and then at Wilsonville High School, I was the biology teacher and physics teacher. And so I'm very excited to be working with the online program this year and getting a chance to work with your kiddos too. Just some fun information. I have traveled to over 13 countries. I am fluent in Spanish, as well as knowing a little bit of French. In my pictures, you can see I love my dog, Millie, and I have a pet bird named Pudgy, and my nephew, Luke, and I just found out that I have a little niece on the way as well. So we're very excited about that. And then I really just want to reiterate that my focus in the classroom is really about making student connections. I think that making connections with students is one of the most important things that a teacher can do, because it allows that student to trust that adult, meaning that that student is then going to become more comfortable taking academic risks by asking questions in front of their peers or speaking out when they don't understand a concept. So for me, making student connections and a class culture of positivity and trust and inclusivity is really, really important. Some information about me, or about the course, excuse me, is about how I'm going to be hosting small group sessions. You may have already seen a sign up started, and so what this means is that a group or a student is going to sign up for a particular small group. And then that particular small group is going to meet at the same time, the same day, with the same group of kids every week. Even if students don't necessarily plan on coming because any live class is optional, I still really highly recommend that they come, because we're going to be spending time in that period going over some specific skills that's going to help us with a content, an assignment, or a project that's coming up, or I'll be talking about specific content to kind of further explain, getting into the weeds and the details that I won't be able to cover in whole group live sessions. So that brings me to my next point. So whole group in biology is going to look a little bit more like a content lesson. In these classes, you can expect to see anything from reteaching to proactively teaching concepts that I've noticed that students struggled either looking at any assessments or assignments, as well as kind of knowing some of the concepts that are a bit challenging for students. Since I have been able to teach biology for the last couple years, I have a pretty good sense of where students are going to struggle, and I can teach and plan to teach concepts before we get to it to kind of help clarify and create that new learning process as smoothly as possible. In addition, there are help sessions every day. All help sessions are going to be available to students. However, I do have a focus on help sessions throughout the week. So for example, if there is a biology help session, all students are available to attend. However, students that are in the biology class is going to get priorities of their questions answered over any other classes. And the same goes for AP biology. So if I have an AP biology help session, biology students are welcome to attend, but the priority questions go to those with AP Bio students. Emails are the best way to communicate with me. Emailing me, letting me know if you have a question or something comes up. That's going to be the fastest and quickest way for me to respond. So now let's go ahead and go to our field trip. So I'm going to be showing you the biology content. However, it's very similar for AP biology as well. So what you see here on the page is the home view, and this is what a student would be seeing. So right here, what they're going to see here is any class connects they have for that day. And so they are going to be invited individually to a small small group lesson, and that link would be right here, as well as any help sessions or whole group live sessions will be right here as well. Right here you can see there is some unread discussions, meaning the student would need to then go click and participate fully in their discussions assessment. And that includes responding to a prompt as well as answering 3 other people's posts. So making sure that you go back in there if that shows up. On the left-hand side, you're going to see a class plan. This is a quick glance, a quick agenda to see what is coming up. You can expect 2 to 3 lessons a day to be completed, and on average, students have reported that it's taking anywhere between 20 to 25 minutes for a lesson to be completed. Over here, you're going to see that these are where you'll find any class announcements. So I've recently posted on Sunday about signing up for those small groups, so making sure that your student has if you haven't heard this yet. And then if you scroll down, the announcements are posted from most recent to latest. So you're going to find the most recent announcements up here and some later ones down below. Other good things to know are if you click on plan, that is where you're going to see, you can choose and see it at a month view, and that's going to kind of show you all the assignments for all your students' classes, and then, or you can break it down by week, and you can kind of take a look at what's going to be due, and then you can even do it by day. And so the day is going to show you when things are due. So we have 2.05 that is due today. Today is Monday, and that's due at 9, right? So that's a useful tool to kind of take a look and see what is due and what is coming up. Now, the most important tool is going to be the content. So this is where you're going to find the lessons. And on the left-hand side, you can start to see that everything is broken down by unit, and then within that unit, it is in a lesson. So this is going to take you all the way down. Check marks show when it's been completed. And just a clarification, these numbers, they signify how many lessons or assignments are related to that unit. So that's up here. That's going to be the total number. And then the numbers here represent how many lessons or assignments are attached to each of those lessons. So that means that for the characteristic of life, that means that there is 1 assessment left to complete, and that would be telling me I need to do that. And then as you can see, I have made all of the units available, and so you can go ahead and see, and then they just are due at the end of the period. But remember, anything that's turned in late, there is no penalty. In addition, you can see a progress bar at the top of each unit that tells you how much of the required topic is left, and then that takes us to this progress bar up here. This progress bar tells the student, and it doesn't show up for me because this is a teacher, I'm looking at it from a student view as a teacher, but if you were to look at a student, this would be the progress bar for the entire quarter. So depending on the percentage means that's how much your student or your kiddo has completed and how much is left for the rest of the quarter. Some quick things about grades. You'll be able to see that some of the grade has been calculated right here. So you may see some that look familiar, and it breaks up the grades like that. And then if you look at tools, this is going to be a quick place to look at any assignments or discussions or announcements that have been made and so forth. One thing that I'd really like to take a moment is to go back to content. We've had our first test already, and as you may have noticed, there is So one last thing I'd like to show you is because we've had a test already, I wanted to show you how to make submissions and upload. So we go to the test right here. So let me go ahead and scroll. So we go to the unit test for chapter 1. And you can see that there's part 1, Part 2 is where you're going to be turning in your short answers. So when you pull it up, it looks exactly like this, right? You click on this link right here and it's automatically going to download and open up the part 2 of the test. And so in there, you're going to see your questions. To answer to the best of your ability. And remember, it is 3 points, so that means there should be a lot of information, right? So as soon as you're done, you're going to click Save As, and then once you save it in a location, to turn it in is right here where it says Submissions. And so there's a couple of ways that you can do that. You can upload clicking this button, and that's going to help you start looking throughout your computer, and that's when you would click on the assignment you just saved as and upload it. And once you upload it, you'll then have the option to submit it. If you've done a Google Doc, then I recommend that you export the Google Doc and save it as a Word doc and then upload it that way. Sharing it with me is not the most effective just because I'm reminded by an email and I'm getting lots of emails, so it tends to get buried. So the best way to do that is to upload the submission right through there. It was a pleasure sharing you and giving you a little tour of biology. AP Biology looks a little different because we're using a different third-party outlet, and I'd be happy to make a video for you on that as well. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening.